Hello, everybody, and welcome back to DM Writer's Room, the live show where we try to demystify the DMing process. And this time, we're demystifying the keeping process, or the keepering process, while we're building a playbook for Monster of the Week. Ethan is going to break down the details as they come up, but please join us as we try something we've never done before.
Yeah, we're coming back from a little bit of a sabbatical. We had a couple of really busy weeks come up in a row, and we're finally back on the horse. Normally at this time, you would find us either talking about D&D content, or sometimes we do kind of quick one-page RPGs. Right now, we're doing a Monster of the Week mini arc, and so it felt like the perfect time to look at this game. It's also, I know, one of my favorite TTRPGs. I know it's one of Spencer's. Michael, I think you've only gotten to play it a few times, but you got
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, got a game in the other day. It's a very fun, snappy system. The dice are very pared down and simple. The stats are very simple. You're only working with five. Whoops. Charm, cool, sharp, tough, and weird are the 5 stats, and your modifiers are much smaller. It's +1, +2, maybe +3. Doesn't ever really get too far beyond that, because you're rolling 2d6 to determine what happens most of the time. On a 1 through 6, you have failed completely. On a 7 through 9, it's a little bit of a mixed bag, and on a 10 plus, that is a huge success. Because you're rolling 2d6, it's not like rolling a d20 where you need +5, +6, +7 because you could roll really low. The bell curve on 2d6 is much tighter, and so you're far more likely to roll a 6, 7, or 8. So in one of those situations, that +2 kicks you up much higher and gives you a much better chance of sort of succeeding where you would otherwise have failed. We're going to be making one of the playbooks. There are a number of playbooks for Monster of the Week. These are your character classes. Now, I will note, Monster of the Week is sort of back in vogue right now. It comes in and out of popularity. And there's an interesting criticism I've heard of the game that I think I'd like for us to at least try to sort of passively keep in mind. There's been some flack pulled in on playbooks that are too descriptive, that narrow you in a little too far, right? They really limit your options to one of a very few kind of ways that it can go. Now, I think maybe some of the people critiquing that need to just chill out a little. It's a genre game. Take a load off. Play the trope. Have a good time. And also, don't be afraid to re-describe abilities. I think a lot of that. We've talked about this with subclasses before. If Spencer wanted to play Warlock for flavor and was like, hey, Warlocks are not my favorite class. Can I just be a wizard and describe Warlock stuff? The thought that any GM would be like, no, you can't, is ridiculous to me. So, if you need to swing it, let's swing it. But we're talking about making a playbook. So first, we need to nail down our concept, our sort of large-scale idea. Right before stream, we kind of loosely broke down the playbooks of Monster of the Week and Monster of the Week Tome of Mysteries into 3 categories. Category 1 are people who are involved whether they want to be or not, and they also seem to be the people that are there to kick ass. This is the Chosen, a divine warrior, the divine, an angel of some kind or celestial being, the monstrous, duh, the spellslinger, duh, the wronged, classic supernatural, you killed my mom, man, now I'm going to do the whole thing, the hex, and the pararomantic. They're locked in, and they innately are living a supernatural life a little bit. The middle group are your average Joes. These are your camp counselors that are here totally by coincidence. What a nightmare. This is the crooked, the kind of criminal character, the flake, somebody going from place to place, the mundane, a normal person, maybe my favorite playbook.
One.
The snoop, which is like somebody who is looking into the conspiracy, the spooktacular, which is a party magician, and the gumshoe, which is a detective, kind of in like the noir sort of sense. And those groups are kind of mundane people, usually kind of utility based. Michael, do you have a question?
More of a statement. Everyone say hello to Zatannis.
Hey!
Thank you for following.
Thank you for the follow. Hey. Great to see you here. I was like, what question could Michael have halfway through this list?
What is a playbook?
Excuse me. Yeah. And then our last category are experts, initiates, professionals, and searchers. These are people who absolutely want to be here. They worked extremely hard to be here. They read the books, they drive, they go to the thing. These people are working so hard to be a part of this supernatural world and are very much kind of off in their own category as a result. Now, each of the three of us have brought an idea, and we're going to talk out which one we like or which parts of different ones that we like. I'm looking over at Streamlabs, and I'm in the top left, Spencer's in the top right, Michael is center bottom, so I think I'll read mine, then Spencer, you can read yours, and then Michael, you can read yours.
Cool.
That sound good?
Yeah.
I'm stuck between two names for mine, and so I'm going to say both. I'm visualizing this as one of these Ogado no middle row people who are just sort of dragged in. It's either the mayor or the manager. The manager felt a little too close to the mundane, kind of phonetically, but this is a like minor local leadership person that will benefit in that way. When I said the manager, I'm thinking like the store manager, the fast food place manager. I'm thinking back to Monster House, that guy that ran the pervy dude that ran the arcade. You know, this is an archetype that I feel like's kind of really in there. And the mundane to me is a little bit more like, I'm Jimmy Olsen from down the street. Like, there's a little bit more oddness going on with the kind of manager character. And the mayor is much the same. I kind of view them very, very similarly to one another.
Yeah.
So that's my...
This is like the well-known.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy you know.
Which, you know, I'm going to just pass on. I have some thoughts about it, but let's get the rest of these ideas out. Spencer, you're up.
Yeah, definitely.
Mine is either the offering, the offered, or the sacrifice. This is somebody who has been marked for death by some power in the world. It's sort of an antithesis to the chosen. So instead of somebody being empowered by this thing, it's somebody who will eventually be killed by whatever this power is. But in the meantime, gets a natural luck or help from a cult that will come and get them out of something if they're about to die.
I like it.
So it's a sort of flip, yeah.
It's sort of like chosen monstrous hex, but it is more doom and gloom. Like it's more inflicted upon this character. These are not traits that they are. And it doesn't sound as beefy as the monstrous. It doesn't sound like they have any abilities really.
This is closer to like the mundane or the flake than basically any other class.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. Michael.
Yeah, that's fun. So what I've got is the artist. Somebody that has seen the other side and seen the beauty of it and wants to capture that beauty.
That's very fun. I like that. This is not a joke. We're working off screen on our next big project, Undead or Alive, which we've been plugging away at forever. The bad guy I just finished and sent over for people to read over for our first good passive edits is somebody painting the Mother of Shadows, is Calvadir Omadai, the foul painter. So that's hilarious.
That's very funny.
What are the odds? Spencer, you clearly had an idea just now.
It is like Storm Chasers, like in Twister. The guy's like, I gotta be there. I gotta see it. Sort of a journalist class, an artist, journalist. There's a lot of ways you can take that.
Oh yeah, the first I had, and like you said, you can take it a million different ways. The first I had, I don't know if you know the character Jin from League of Legends.
Oh yeah, I do.
He is the artist, but he makes art out of like just death or blood or stuff like that, and it's almost taking the monster.
We have a real, I don't know if you guys know this, we have a real design ethos of I looked at a bad thing for too long and now I can't stop trying to recreate it.
Oh my god!
We the three of us do that shit we love that. I don't know why. I'm thinking back through and I was like, it's funny. It's so funny that Calvadir is like that, and I was like, we had a couple of adventures that were like that. And our Vecna analog is the toy maker, who had like portraits. Wait a minute, like wait a second, we do this a lot, don't we? And I was thinking about that blue dragon with all those statues, and I was like, whoa. All right, we're learning something. Okay, so 3 pretty different ideas. So we have the manager or the mayor, which is this sort of sleazy politician or sleazy local character. I'm going to say I have a criticism for myself almost immediately. If you are trying to crisscross this is, I think, a great class for I'm the local sheriff, I'm the local supermarket manager, I'm the local paper boy, and we deal with supernatural stuff. If you are trying to get the sort of traipsing across the country hunting monsters vibe, real hard to pull the manager mayor character in one of those games. Now, granted, some of the other things on this list are kind of position rooted, so it's not an instant out, but I do think it's a pretty heavy ding against my idea as far as what we're doing. Up next, we have the sacrifice / the offering, which I think's really fun. This is somebody who's their life has been promised to this outer thing. Like, that's done. Ritual's finished. I like that it's Guts from Berserk, right? They have the brand on their neck, and it's already too late, bitch. Like, you're already screwed. So you might as well, try to do something on the way down. I think that's really neat. Something under my desk. It's just the edge of my power strip. And then finally, we have the artist, which is somebody who is trying to capture the supernatural, trying to put pen to paper or paint to canvas, who wants to capture the beauty of what they see. Pretty different angles here. I'm leaning towards one of your guys too. I think I'm a little object locked, and as much as I think the manager is fun, I think that we're going to pigeonhole ourselves too much.
All right. Well, we can do a roll off. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to do all 3 of them. If we wanted to do a monster of the week, because we're doing the mini arc for our play sessions, we could also next week do another one. Do 2 of them.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Sure. I mean, listen, if I can do the manager, I think it's fucking hilarious. Like,
I say we do a little monster of the week mini work month. Sure. Where we do a bunch of stuff for a Monster of the Week for the next several sessions.
Which is deeply funny because next Tuesday's episode is 100% the finale of Scheduling Conflicts Presents Summer Camp Slasher. Also, if you're watching now or in the future, tune into that. That show has been so much fun to make. Let me be clear. I don't know if it's fun to watch, but it was fun to make. So I'm going to hope that carries over to you guys. Okay, so I think it's time to look at one of these 2. Do we want to flip a coin and know that we're going to do the other one some other day?
Yeah, why not?
Great.
Sure.
Let's flip a coin.
Do one of you have a coin or dice out? I can reach over here and grab a...
I don't.
All right. I think let's go with one of your 2s for now. Who wants odds and who wants evens?
Evens.
I'll take odds then.
Very well. Roll. 3 odds.
Ooh, odds, Michael.
Okay.
So our first playbook, and we'll circle back around on this, is tentatively titled, I'll put it lightly in pencil in case we, switch it up a little bit, is The Artist. Now, looking over here, the first thing we do, if I'm looking at one of these playbooks, as they are presented in the core guide, we get a little flavor blurb of what this kind of character is like. It sounds kind of like a quote. So for instance, the professional has, "It's kind of strange when your regular 9-to-5 job is to hunt down monsters. Still, that's the job I took on when I joined this outfit. It pays well and the benefits are good. Like they say, you don't have to be crazy to work here, but it sure helps." Which is sort of fun. To make your professional, you pick a name and some traits, which they outline. You pick your stat spread, and then you need to be a member of an agency. Usually, it says they decide who it is you work for. Are they a black budget government department, a secret military unit, a clandestine police team, a private individual's crusade? You're sort of choosing your faction. You're defining your faction. What are the 2 resources that they can give you? What is the red tape that you're always having to move around? And then we get to the real meat and potatoes, the moves and the gear. These are the items and abilities that define your class. And then finally, we have history and luck. We've got 50 questions at the end that we're almost certainly not going to do on stream because they would be terrible to listen to. And this is, in theory, an audio product. Maybe someday we'll get to hire an editor or give Spencer $5 and a bag of Skittles and say, "Go edit Hey, you know how you edit all day for your job? Do it more, nerd.
More of it.
Lock him in a closet with a computer. Okay, so we have the artiste. I love it.
Quick little blurb.
Yeah, I mean, mainly what I want from this blurb is what is the feeling that we want to radiate off of the artist, right? We know already that they are, you know, we have the core of that. You put paint to canvas, you put pen to page. You cannot help but try to capture the horrors that you've seen and share them with the world. You see the beauty in the void. Hopefully one day you don't fall into it. Pretty clean on the tin there. Is there anything that you guys feel like I'm missing? Because we want to tap into tropes, right? We want it to feel like these characters would belong in one of these shows. Sort of slant genre. One of the first people that comes to mind for me is the guy from, oh gosh, it has completely just fled my mind. That is so bad. I looked over at Streamlabs and my brain went, idiot.
I'll take over for a second. If we wanted to open up to make it slightly less prescriptive, I would maybe rename it from artist to like archivist, chronicler, somebody who's documenting, so it's not always art. You know what I mean?
I think that's a pretty huge shift on the concept.
Yeah, but that's I wanted to bring it up just as an idea before we went too deep. You were talking before about prescription. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Was if we wanted to slant it, I don't mind either way. I just wanted to bring it up.
No, it's definitely a fair thought. It's sort of in the both of these things are in other groups' wheelhouses, so we're gonna have to be careful of that. I think the artist is a little on the close side to, you know, the flake, the flake, the searcher, right? It has this angle of fascination, so we need to make sure to set ourselves apart from those two. I do think it sounds like from what Michael's core concept was, that we're pretty firmly in this third category. This is somebody who is seeking out the supernatural, right? They aren't involuntarily a part of it. They aren't a part of it whether they want to be or not, like the divine. This is somebody who's hungry for it, who's chasing it down all the time. Yeah. So I think that's pretty important. Two other playbook names that come to mind for me would be the inspired or the obsessed. This is somebody who's driven entirely by these things, or if the art angle, whatever medium that is, I think the inspired, or just keeping the artist. I don't think the inspired is much better or worse than the artist. So, but if we wanted to widen, I would say that, you know, something like the obsessed, something like the obsessive would maybe be similar. That would just.
Like, what do you think? Do you want to keep it artist inclined? I'm fine with that, but it's your concept.
I'm kind of inclined to keep it as art sort of inspired, but you almost got me with the obsessive because there's elements of that too.
But. Yeah.
No, I think that's just one of the important aspects of the character. I think that is something that, Michael, for you, you know, is like ringing really true. So I think that's something that will be fun. Here's my pitch. So we have the artist. We know what that opening blurb looks like. I'm scrolling down. I'm not looking at facial features yet. I'm not really looking at, like, you know, stats yet. Where other playbooks would have the agency or something like that, I think this is where the artist has the obsession. What, and to me, it's what event inspired you? Like, what event can you not let go of? That would be my first question. My second question would be, what's your medium? How are you trying to capture this feeling? And then third and finally, for me, would be, how does this... this might involve us using some therapy language, so we would have to be careful to not be insensitive, but like, what is your obsession? Are you obsessed? Are you compulsed? Like, what is the feeling that is dragging you forward? Is it an addiction that you need to do it again? Is it an obsession you want to do it again? Is it a compulsion you wake up and you're painting, right? I think is a helpful way to kind of factor out what this person's doing. what of those did me saying any of those things make you guys think of anything you want to add? Is there anything that you were like, that sucks, nerd? Like, get that idea out of here. What are we thinking? Oh, and by the way, if anybody in chat now or in the future, I guess in the future it'll be difficult to be helpful, but if it's now, if you want to throw ideas out at us, we can't do everything, but we'll try to fold things in within reason as best we can. Sorry, I definitely cut somebody off with that.
You're good. I was gonna say the therapy language, your compulsion, obsession, addiction. I think that's a really cool idea. I feel like if you're going for more of the compulsion, you could lean more into the weird side of things, like something's controlling you to do this. If you're obsessed with doing it, it's probably something in your past happened and wrecked your psyche. Addicted could be somewhere in between, or it could be the thrill of getting that perfect shot or perfect picture.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got 3 central questions here. I've got what was your first contact? Through what medium do you view this? And then this third question that I don't have a great term for. I think it's like, how does this show? Like, how does the manifest? Right? Maybe that would be the term. How does this artistry manifest in you? Okay, cool. Oh, I was saying do. My phone was like, did you say GOOGLE? Let me get in there. Let me get in there. Okay, and so for example, that changes the flavor of the professional when you make those choices. Scrolling up to the stat block, Ethan, what are you doing? The playbook for the mundane would be the next one here. The mundane, unsurprisingly, has none of that. That's deeply funny.
Yeah.
The monster has pick a breed, pick a curse. Love that, right? These sort of tell us how this character is functioning. They're not overly noodly, right? So I'm going up to the initiate, and it has the sect. Choose 2 traditions: knowledgeable, ancient lore, magical lore, fighting arts, etc. Bad traditions, dubious motives, tradition bound, short-sighted, etc. So it sounds
we could come up with like a positive angle and negative angle. Be like, oh, you are incredibly skilled at this thing. However, this compulsion takes over.
Yeah, they're not super mechanical, but they do let us know what I as a GM. They mainly give you the leverage points as a player that you can be like, but I checked this, shouldn't I get a +1? And if it's me, I'm gonna be like, yeah, right, all right, you nerd. All right, so first things first. I think for medium, we've got kind of the obvious, right? We would have like painting, poetry, stuff like that. Photography. Okay, so I don't think we need to hash those out. If we're just doing artistic mediums, there's nothing super weird that's going to kind of scoosh its way in there. Definitely got to leave one blank at the end of that. I really want the person that's like, I'm a professional DJ who's inspired by the time I went to hell. Is just perfect.
Wrestling, baby. Let's go.
Oh, now wait. All right, we're actually going to cancel this. Spencer, roll up an adventure. I'm whatever he just said. I'm a wrestler who's motivated by his time in hell. Perfect.
I'm going to suplex the devil. The greatest form of art in the world.
I think first contact is going to be much the same, right? First contact is going to be, we'll give a couple of options, like, I saw what I was not meant to see. I was where I wasn't meant to be. Some options like that. They kind of vague, flavorful. We don't want to, like we said, we don't want to pigeonhole too hard. These like manifestations, I think, are interesting. I think this is the kind of thing that can get really mechanical if we want it to, right? Choose one, and then it would have because it sounds like to me, what is your manifestation? And then probably, because we need a mechanic for when you check off luck. For those of you watching who don't know the game, you have a certain number of luck points in Monster of the Week. When you fail a roll, you can check one to automatically succeed at a cost. Each class has a different cost. They all have the same final cost. When you check the last box, you are doomed. Your character will, every time something goes wrong, it will go as wrong as it can possibly go. And that character is probably pretty short for this world. All that being said, oof. I think that means these are sort of important. We had a couple ideas out at first that I liked. Well, I said them. And Michael liked compulsion a lot. We liked the idea that it could be sort of compulsive. We liked the idea that it could be sort of... we might need to use a different term for this one, because this is a little loaded. But we had addictive as another one, right? You're chasing that feeling, I think is fair. So compulsive, addictive. What other... Does compulsive cover, like, you wake up and you are already...
doing it?
Let me see.
I mean, in a sense.
Yeah. I'm just curious, like, how do we see this factoring out? Because, like I said, we've got compulsion, which is the constant dragging towards it, right? You have this compulsion to begin, whether you want to or not. And then we have addictive, which is different. It's you chasing. There is something you're chasing. Part of the high of this, you can't get away from. There's something about capturing it that feels good. Very different.
We could put unconscious or subconscious. So that would be when you fall asleep or when you are knocked out or in your dreams you're seeing these things. So you're trying to find answers in the waking world.
The waking, you bloodborne son of a bitch. Yeah, and then the only one I feel like we're... the only thing that I feel like isn't here is sort of ecstatic, is the sort of religious... version. The term ecstatic is correct, but I think not super understandable. I think people are going to read it and not jump to the conclusion that it would like definitionally be. It's this like it's different than addictive, which is you're chasing the feeling. It's different than compulsive, which is you find yourself doing it while awake, regardless of if you want to. And it's different than subconscious, which is you having to sort of discover what you've done. It's from a place of awe. It's from a place of
euphoric.
Yeah, euphoric or obsessive, right?
Yeah.
If we have a...
obsessive.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do obsessive there. I think that's great. Similar to compulsive, but not... If that means it's not visited upon you, right?
Yeah, you're liking it.
And I think I'm going to replace addictive with euphoric.
Do you want to do, like, sanctimonious?
Oof.
Compulsive, euphoric, subconscious, obsessive, sanctimonious.
I was going to say sanctimonious could be a fun ability name for the later section.
That works.
All right, I'll write it up at the top of the sheet and we'll put a pin in it. We'll say we want to fit this word in somewhere. So I like it. Compulsive, euphoric, subconscious, obsessive. And then for me, I think it would be every time you burn a luck, this part of your character gets worse. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse the more of those points, or maybe every other point that you fill in, because trying to do 7 iterations is going to be hard in a way that 3 isn't. So it could be every other one. Every other one. Is it 7 points of luck? I think it is. Let me check.
I believe so.
It is 7. So I think it is every other, because it's good. Because that means you have your first 2, you have your second 2, you have your last 2. And then you have reached the maximum degree of this, like, obsessive nature, and you only have 1 luck left, because you are teetering on the edge. You know what I mean?
Now, hear me out. Some of the playbooks have a positive effect to burning luck. Not all of them, but like a quarter of them, a half of them do. I could see this one, you lean deeper into your compulsions, you're losing some of your humanity, but you're seeing more of the truth. So it's through this thing, right? Your art is leading you deeper into understanding what's going on. That knowledge, maybe hold one, investigate a mystery, or not even hold one, just ask one of these questions, right?
Yeah.
Investigate a mystery, read about situation, whatever, and your GM will give it to you, your keeper will give it to you.
So scrolling down, I see the expert. When you spend a luck, you'll discover something happening now is related to something you were involved in years ago. Maybe it's directly due to your actions, or maybe someone else is dabbling in the same area, right? Not necessarily negative, just sort of story expanding. Scrolling on down to the flake. When you spend a luck, pick an aspect of the current situation. The keeper will tell you what other conspiracies that aspect is connected to. Let's see. The initiate... When you spend a luck, something goes wrong for your sect.
My favorite is the wronged.
Yeah.
When you spend a point of luck, you find a dangerous lead on your prey. So it's just like, yeah, you can go right now, but you're gonna get fucking killed. But it's like, but you want to do it. It's your whole character.
Okay. Great. So every 2 luck, you sort of ratchet up your manifestation, is what we'll call those, right? How is this doing that? But every time you burn a luck, we want to give this sort of pseudo positive effect because they get such a big negative effect as they proceed. I think that makes a lot of sense. So you are inspired, something, you feel an urge to paint something that will be important to the case, maybe, or that will be important to the larger. I'm finding it. It's in there.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
You're connecting to the weave and seeing more than what you could typically see. But this isn't fantasy, so you're connecting with the supernatural, and you're seeing more than a mundane person's eyes could see.
Your artistic eyes opening.
Legolas, what do your artistic eyes see? Yeah, but basically, yeah. You're seeing more colors than most can. You're hearing more notes on the wind than others.
Yeah, I think the way I'm tempted to sort of do it temporarily is, you burn a luck, you see and can capture a deeper truth. You basically get information, cryptic information in your next work about either this mystery or the larger mystery you are embroiled in. Okay, I like it. I like that deep sight into it. One of the abilities needs to be, the ability to see invisible things or whatever, right? Sight, something. I don't know. It's a composed sight or something like that. All right.
Extrasensory sight.
Yeah, we started lagging there, Spence.
That was a wild face to make so
Yeah,
close to the
mic cut
camera.
out.
That was you were fucking. Yeah, that was great. Oh god,
I
that was
think
funny.
your video's lagging behind your voice, Spence.
It's. Oh, why?
How about now?
Now you're good.
Yeah, you're all good. Okay. Woo.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Looking over here, I think it's got to be, this class has got to, to my mind, probably a lot of its +2s are going to be in weird and cool.
See, I was thinking charm, maybe. The charismatic.
I guess I could see that as being the alternative, third option.
I think one of their options, I think one of the 5 they choose from has +2 charm, and that in our minds would be like the actor, right? You're a playwright who is trying to capture this. The rest will be -1 because you giggle in your sleep about tentacles. Yeah, exactly. You're a little tough to be around there, guy. All right, fair enough. Okay, so looking over at a playbook.
I don't think any of them are tough.
Yeah.
Fair.
True.
So we have this basis for their medium. We've talked about their luck. We know how those mediums affect their luck. That's great. So it's time to talk moves. Every playbook. All right, so this is... Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to keep a couple of things straight in my head. So some subclasses, I will say, like the Crooked, based on which background they choose, get a bonus. So this compulsive, euphoric, subconscious, and obsessive, at some point, maybe not during stream, but maybe during stream if we have time, we should assign some abilities to that. Something that happens, right? Because we want it to matter that they've chosen what they've chosen. Scrolling on down, we got the moves. Most groups... It looks to me like most groups start with a move. Is it most, or is it just a few? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Like the initiate starts with 1.
There's one that started with 3.
The mundane does not start with 1, but the mundane's not really a good option.
The professional.
Professional gets 1. Spellslinger gets 1. Spooky gets none.
Okay, so I think they do get one, and it's their art, right? It's do a thing. It's prophetic creation, right? Paint a portrait,
Yeah.
chisel a statue. It will hint to what is to come.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. I like that.
Hmm.
It's similar to one of the other playbooks. I think one of the moves in the Chosen.
Yeah, they can get dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So similar.
Yeah.
So great. We know it works. And is one of my favorite abilities. So.
And it also, we could change the flavor where you could do prophetic project at any time.
Yeah.
Because
you need a certain amount of time to do it, but you can do it whenever.
Yeah. Anytime. Probably, I don't know, maybe only once per mystery, maybe twice. I don't know. We could talk that out. Just on time constraint, I think would be.
Yeah. All right, so that's
Sorry
one
about
move
that.
down. I like that.
Yeah, that's the sort of default, and now we need to expand in a couple of other directions.
I'm looking through some of the more closely related options here. Okay, so we've got the invisibility sight one.
Yeah, sight
so
unseen
what
kind of deal.
Yeah, sight unseen, whatever. What would we want to call that? Unknowing sight, something cool.
Eye of the Beholder,
Extrasensory.
maybe.
Eye of the Beholder's fun.
What's the thing where you have four rods instead of three? Tetra something.
It's so specific.
What a ninja.
No, I know.
Unreadable. No, that's fine. I mean, sometimes that's really funny.
Yeah, Ethan, what was the one that you said?
Sight unseen, Eye of the Beholder.
Eye of the Beholder. It fits in with the artist thing.
Colors of the rainbow.
I was thinking that this whole time. I was like, how do we fit painting with all the colors of the rainbow on there?
Okay, so prophetic project you have by default. Eye of the Beholder is basically, let's say, see invisibility. What will probably, and when we start working on mechanics, so for those of you at home, if you were to be looking through the book with us right now, a lot of these have a flavor description and then kind of a mechanical noodly description. Sometimes they're just that surface level, but most of the time they have a deeper thing. So for instance, the Spooktacular has magic and illusions. You can cast confounding spells. When you weave an illusion using magic, roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, everyone is fooled. On a 7 to 9, it doesn't quite work. So basically, it is a more guaranteed, less chaotic version of use magic, which can glitch in all kinds of ways and is kind of hard to negotiate. These are mostly going to be a little bit more detailed. So for instance, sight unseen. Eye of the Beholder, you can see invisible creatures, that's the flavor, and then I would probably say, like, when you roll to investigate a mystery, like, when you roll act under pressure, you can, blah, 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 blah. We're going to have something in there. While sight unseen is being used, you gain +1 forward to blah, 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 plus sharp rolls and stuff like that.
I've seen this before. I would say roll plus weird instead of plus sharp. Investigating a mystery.
I think
is that something that already exists?
I think the professional maybe has that move.
Damn.
Let me look.
This time, I was thinking, I just have a name. I don't know what it would do, but snapshot.
There's a lot of good
like didactic memory. Yeah, so you can take a snapshot in your mind of whatever's going on. You can recall with perfect memory, something like that.
Yeah.
The expert has, I've read about this sort of thing. Roll plus sharp instead of plus cool when you act under pressure.
If we wanted to lean that prophetic, we could do like, I've seen this, right? We could sort of lean in pretty hard in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I've painted this.
Yeah, it's just paint is too specific. We can't be that prescriptive.
Yeah. I've arted this.
Can I pitch object of power? You create a small totemic representation of the monster you are hunting. give some kind of bonus to somebody. That feels right? They create some version.
Is the word, I'm going to look up a word before I say it out loud to see.
There we go. See, this is the kind of content you can get here, where we stop to Google. Check out that etymology, right? Etymology is words, entomology is bugs.
Entomology is the bugs, yeah. Etymology.
I think it's cool using the totem. I don't think there's anyone that does that.
No, certainly not.
Kind of buffs in that sense.
The word I was going to say is homunculus. It looks like there's not anything that popped up in my first Google search of that term. So maybe it's okay.
Yeah.
I like totemic representation. Totem of power is fine. I like that. It could be, depending on the type of artist you're going to be, it could be like a drawing of the person, a small sculpture. It could be a page with descriptive writing, a la the Death Note. You know, there's a lot of options you could do for it.
But so the core idea
symbolic
is
representation.
The core idea is you create something, and maybe you need a piece of the creature or some hair from the creature, something that you need to collect during the mystery, and then you can create this thing. I like that because when you pick it, you're deciding a lot about the way your character interacts with the mystery and with the world. I don't think we need to get too worried about what exactly that ability does. The next one that comes to my mind is similar but different from an ability the Mundane has. The Mundane can gain experience by throwing themselves into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that the artist has Into the Unknown. The artist gains some kind of benefit when they purposefully give in to the urge to go somewhere dangerous because they will learn more. You know what I mean? Fun. Like, when they purposefully delve in deeper than they should, they get a bonus of some kind. Because one of the most important things for us to do is encourage the behavior we want to see. And I think that's something I want to see from this character. I want this character to always be like, I want to step through that mirror that has opened into a rippling portal. I want to step through, like, I want to see more. I need to. I think is really pretty central to the concept.
It could be a +1 forward when they put themselves in specific harm's way. They go out of their way to go deeper into something. They get a +1 forward.
Yeah. You call that something like Muse's Grace.
Muse's Grace is good, especially, I think that's a great name for it if it gives them some sort of defensive trait. If it is, while in strange and unfamiliar places, you have 1 armor. Like, you gain +1 armor. Because you are, something like that, I think would make sense if the name is Muse's Grace. All right, that's the front of the note card filled for me. I've got 4 moves down, one of which you get no matter what. We could certainly come up with a few more. It doesn't look like there's ever too many more than like 6 or 7 until we get to advanced moves, advanced improvements, which is usually only like 1 more. The others are get +1 to any rating, change this hunter to a new type, create a second hunter. Like, there's really not a lot of particularly juicy ones. But so for example, the Flake can get a Haven like the Expert has with 2 options. Take another Flake move. Take a move from another playbook, right? These are the sort of general improvements that you get as you continue.
I have 2 more names, and I don't have full ideas for what they're going to be.
Oh, gotcha.
The first one is Wrong Place, Wrong Time.
Oh, that's fun.
So much fun. The other one is Anatomical Precision. And Anatomical Precision, we need some sort of combat ability. We need at least 1 for somebody who wants to play a more violent version of this character. So I think something like that, where it's like, pressure points from your studies of art and anatomy. You know where to hit to do the most damage. Something like that, just to give them a fighting chance, if that's the type of character they want.
Sure, yeah. They would get like +1 to all their attacks or something like that.
Yeah,
or +1
whatever
harm.
it is.
I think
swap the ability, the power, score, whatever.
I think we need, and I don't know if we have the time necessarily to come up with it now, I think we need a move that is strongly rooted in use magic. And I think that this is a good spot for that to happen, right? Use magic in a harmful way, I think is really intriguing coming from the artist. Our track might have just run. Oh, there it is. Oh,
It's
never
back, it's
mind. Never
Just a little
mind.
break.
So that's something that comes to mind, right? None of these abilities that we've put down are magic based yet. We definitely all
True.
have to readjust from the fact that we are coming from a strictly mundane
Yeah.
monster of the week game, right? Like one of the options is the spell slinger, and you get a cool cantrip that lets you throw fireballs or whatever. So we do need to sort of play into that. We did a little bit with Eye of the Beholder. Actually, I'm looking back at the list. Eye of the Beholder and Effigy of the Unknown are both pretty magical.
Yeah.
I was thinking like blank canvas. You can use big magic more easily without using these items, something like that, to limit how much it takes to use big magic when you use that move. Because your spellcasting foci is whatever your art is. So it's blank canvas.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think that's good. Big magic is a little bit easier. Let's say big magic. Easier, question mark. Options, question mark. Great.
And that leaves wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. I like the idea that the artistic character can almost supernaturally like go into incredibly dangerous circumstances and get out because they need to get out, because they need to do the painting. The real thing I'm getting from this is like from Lovecraftian stories are the people who make sculptures and paintings that drive anybody that looks at them, a little mad. That's really the energy I'm getting from this wrong place, wrong time thing. Is right. They have this ability to slip in between places and then get out and then survive that encounter.
And how do we
Recognize that.
Like I'm thinking of Will Byers from
Yeah,
Stranger Things,
yeah.
right? He can get in as much danger as he wants. He's
Mhm.
got this odd bulletproof thing, and he's the one that is, always sort of interacting with us. He's a little closer to the spooky, but I think the core through line is there, that they can get very close. They're able to get that proximity.
How does the flake or the mundane's ability work? The one that lets him get out of whatever the fuck they're in.
The mundane, just if you get yourself in danger, you get mark 1 experience.
Oh, okay.
You could do something with like the harm if he gets, what is it? It's 3 and 4 for okay and dying, right? Yeah. So if you get to like 3 points of damage for okay, because of harm, something happens.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. The 2 abilities for the mundane you are thinking of are, don't worry, I'll check it out. Whenever you go off by yourself to check out something scary, mark experience. And my personal favorite ability in Monster of the Week, oops. If you want to stumble across something important, tell the keeper. You will find something important and useful, although not necessarily related.
And panic button, I think, is also the other one, the 3 I was conflating. When you need to escape, name the route you'll try and roll plus sharp. On a 10 plus, you're out of danger, no problem. So it's close to that. I like Michael's idea of once you get into the like bloodied territory,
Broken?
what's it called? Once you get to unstable, broken, dying, whatever. Yeah, once you get to dying, your HP bounces back enough that you can get out, right? So you have essentially an increased health pool after you've been in danger. You reset that clock and you're like, oh shit, I'm out of here. And you go, you can draw, you can paint, you can...
So the border that we have here, our first 3 blocks are okay, and then you are unstable for the next 4. And then dying is dying. Dying is you're going to die like immediately. So I think we the 2 options that I see, one is we put something on that barrier of unstable, or option 2 is we move unstable in a block.
I could see that. I could also... Are there mechanical disadvantages to being unstable?
Yeah, so one of the hard moves that a keeper can take against an unstable character is you are much more likely to keep gaining harm, to keep getting hurt. It's really up to the keeper. So mainly in this game, the GM doesn't roll. The keeper is explicitly told not to make too many plans. Their job is to facilitate the players making their way through the mystery. So for example, I'm not going to say there is a trap in the next room. If they go in without rolling plus sharp, they're going to trigger the trap and take damage. You would say, I want to explore, I'm going to look for the creature. And then if you failed, my hard move would be, there is a trap, it goes off, take 1 harm. If you were unstable, I would say take 2 harm. Or take 1 harm and you are dazed, take -1 forward because you're unstable and now your ankle's twisted and you can feel yourself starting to kind of lose traction a little bit. What it could be, wrong place, wrong time, might have to rename it if we use my idea. Not necessarily, is if you can, it's very subjective. If you can discover something truly dark or a dark secret about the case, you stabilize. And it just encourages them to like keep delving into the dangerous situation, because if they can find a big reveal, something to turn into art, they will click back up to stable, maybe. I don't know.
I was thinking there's so many options for this thing. It could be there is no unstable for this character. You enter into unstable when you get back to a place of safety. So when you get hurt, you just go, I'm out of here. And you leave, you get to safety, and then you collapse into a stupor, right? Stupor. It could be that. It could be you get to unstable and you revert back. So you get essentially an extra
your
health.
first one's great. Look at our list: compulsive, euphoric, subconscious, obsessive. All of those things like lend themselves to not realizing you're hurt until you're back safe, right? So instability. It could be instability cannot cause the artist to take more harm, only to take riskier steps, like to keep throwing themselves into the danger in their eternal quest to learn more. These injuries catch up to you when you are done.
You're unstable, but different than everybody else.
Different kind. So we've got this sort of unstable delay. I like that. It also means we get to put a fun little blurb where we're like, because of this, the statistical odds that the artist finishes a mystery and then dies is not low. That's fine. Like, that happens. That is a lot of cosmic horror stories end with the detective killing themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they end on those somber notes where, and then there's a splintering at the door, and then it cuts off mid-sentence. That's a trope from, like Shadow over Innsmouth and stuff. So. Woo! All right, those is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 moves. We are golden.
Nice.
Looking at improvements, there's no improvements that I'm like really obsessed with here. Usually 1 or 2 of the improvements are class tied. So for instance, the initiate, who is a member of a secret order, has get command of your chapter of the sect as one of their improvements. Get a sect team under your command is one of their improvements. If I scroll down to the monstrous, it's taking longer than I thought it would. We have gain a haven like the expert has. We have take a natural attacks pick, right? So there is usually an option or 2 that is class specific, alongside the other standards. Increase 1 of your ability scores, stuff like that. Is there anything like that that's really jumping out at us for the artist?
I could see obtain a studio or an office space, something like that. So you have somewhere to go back to. You can keep all of your totems of power. You can keep documentation. It's a place to recuperate, get safe. I know there's like havens and safe houses and stuff like that for other classes. So I could see that. A studio.
Yeah, I mean, mechanically it would probably be make a studio, go use the expert playbook. You're gonna like, it's just that we don't have to the double creation. Another thought I had is that I think is really fun in an annoying way. One of the improvements is make it big. One of your art pieces becomes exceedingly and extremely popular, right? Like, and then you just have to deal with that. You are famous now.
It's hilarious.
I do think it's pretty funny. I actually feel, I mean, I would be willing to sort of cool it a little bit. I'm not sure how it would work other than, you know, maybe like plus to charm, or you can roll weird instead of charm. As you gain
the tortured artist.
Yeah, as
trait.
you gain this like eccentric fame, but the trade-off is you are extremely well known. When you show up in town, people pay attention to the fact that you're there, and now you have this new obstacle.
Especially some places. You're breaking into an arts college, you're not getting in without these people seeing you. You're going to the country bar in the middle of nowhere, you're probably okay. We have to keep that in mind. Very funny.
One improvement could be you gain a new medium. And with a new medium, you get a new ability from our list.
Oof.
Yeah, because we did talk about making like medium abilities. New medium studio. I love the idea that a lot of these things have you get an apartment. It's one of their improvements. It's hilarious. I mean, that's 3. I think we're pretty much good. We have make it big, new medium, and build a studio for yourself. I think that's great. I don't have any beef there.
Yeah, and then you got all the normal ones. Get +1 to any rating, max +3. Change to a new type, get back 1 used luck point. You don't really need any more specific ones than that.
I am curious how far out we're going to go. I kind of love the idea that one of the artist's potential options is, you know, unfortunately, because the Snoop kind of already does it. I was going to say one of their options is being a mysteriously-er. You know, is this like BuzzFeed Unsolved ass? Like... But that's kind of what the Snoop does.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
Sorry, I'm looking at the art for this.
That's not really good. I'm looking... We have to do, like, history. And we've got some flavor option. We've already done a flavor option, actually, which is, like, the compulsive, euphoric, etc. So you have to pick out history, some look options, which is always fun. But not much else. That's... Oh, weapons. Weapons. What kind of weapons? You got a box cutter, hammer and chisel.
Yeah, because this person is so magically inclined, I think most of them are going to be pretty desperately shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that. You can have a camera. Paintbrushes, a shiv.
Guns. The Spooky's got a lot of guns. Okay, spell sling. Let's see what weapons you got.
Just about everybody, I think, can take a knife and a handgun. Those tend to be 2 that are offered pretty much across the board.
Yeah. Spellslinger gets an old... You can pick one. Old revolver, ritual knife, or heirloom sword. So we probably be angling towards that. Maybe closer to the Spooky. Spooky gets a 38 revolver, or a 9mm, or a hunting rifle, or a shotgun, or a big knife. It's not a shotgun. Doesn't sound like an artist thing. But like a 9mm, sure, that's easy.
So it's like knife, handgun, and then the third option would be an artist's tool repurposed for danger, and that one has the benefit. That one is subtle, right? Isn't that one of the options? Yeah. So for instance, the multi-tool pocket knife is 1 harm, hand, hidden, useful, and so this would be one harm, probably 1 harm, hand, hidden, useful. Be this like painting item. Would be this artist's tool that you have repurposed a little bit.
All right, pretty solid.
One of the only things I want to just set out now for this person, we're about to talk about their looks. 2 of them that I just need us to have is eccentric and chronically normal.
Yeah.
I think those are both essential because for every like really out there artist, there's also somebody that it's like they're a pudgy dad from Nebraska and they're like, oh, that's the greatest photographer of the last 70. There's a guy I'm thinking of that's this like Danny DeVito looking dude who is considered like one of the great photographers of the 20th century. So I think those two are pretty essential for my enjoyment of the class. Do we have any other like big ones? I have eccentric, I have chronically normal.
Charcoal smudged.
Ooh, I like that. Smudged or stained kind of deal.
I do have a new move, and it's called It's Just Paint. When dealing with people not inclined towards the supernatural, you can say, this is an art exhibit, this is public play, like whatever, just to make them not freak out. And
That's awesome.
Shown the truth.
I love that. That's a really good one. I wrote that down.
Yeah, that's fun.
Eccentric, chronically normal, smudge stained. Can I put on theme? Like themed in costume, or is that too close to eccentric?
I think costumed is funny. I'm dressed up as a monster hunter. He's got like a huge billowing duster.
This is a serious investigation. I'm always so tempted to play that person. To be like, I'm playing the professional in today's adventure.
Oh yeah.
I guess you could say it's my ninja way. Just like
I'm looking at the other.
I'm just imagining
descriptions
everybody
for the
else is having
classes.
like a really serious, and I am vamping, Spencer. I'm just imagining everybody else is like having their deep felt talks. They're like, who inspires you? And it comes around to you and it goes, well, I remember the first time I saw Goku.
So this
Bad
is
housing.
we're doing full, just like what this dude or gal or person looks like, right? That's what we're looking at right now. Is
Yeah, they have this. They have that
Look.
pretty wide section, depending on which group you are. Some of them are really rather sparse. But
yeah.
so for
Yeah,
instance,
like-
we have chiseled face, shady face, unshaven face, soft face, young face, old face, determined face. This is for the professional. And then we have tailored suit, shabby suit, perfect suit, utility coveralls, battle dress, paramilitary uniform, lab coat, blank.
So the list I think would be clothes, ... It would be painter's garb, charcoal smeared clothes, costumed. Yeah, so that would be the big list there. So you need a couple more.
Or pristine.
Yeah, pristine. And then you could say like that would be like a suit and tie, something like that.
Can I make a pitch for just fashion with an umlaut over the O?
Yeah, font food.
Just for no reason.
Yes. Yes.
That gives us like 6, and then we put a blank at the end. I think we're pretty
That's
good
solid.
to go.
And then you need something with the eyes. So it'd be like a distant look, wild eyes, some stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, wait, that's good. Unsettling, wild, distant,
Piercing.
piercing,
Focused.
Yeah.
focused.
I mean,
Vacant,
that's too
Maddened.
good.
vacant,
Yeah,
crazed.
bacon is solid.
I can't resist. I'm gonna put snowblind. That's where you get white.
Mm. It could also be bloodshot for the unconscious.
Oh yeah, that's fun. See, there's a lot of fun abilities in there, like I can't wait to figure out. Probably off. We're already at 7:46. We're cooking.
Yeah.
Is this at 8:15, 8:30?
It is 8.
Oh,
So we
awesome!
got
Great, we're doing a great
14.
job. That's fantastic. So I love the idea that one of the things the subconscious has is, like you are like, and no one is like you can't be snuck up on at night. Like you're awake. Your body is
You're
up
there.
all night. You also have crazy bags, my man. You are snoozing right now.
Is
Woof.
there anything else we would want that's separate from eyes and clothes? Is there?
I think it's pretty good, and most of them only
Yeah.
have the 2 categories. I don't think I want to complicate it too much. I think it's pretty solid.
Sweet.
Cool by me.
The only thing the thing I think I want to spend our last little bit of time here for. We might even have time for a bit, Spencer, if you want to think about if you have any of those
Yeah.
lists ready. Let's talk about the studio. Right, instead of saying use the expert gets to choose from a couple of things, none of which are, particularly difficult to comprehend. They have lore library, mystic library, protection spells, armory, infirmary, workshop, oubliette, panic room, magic labs. They get all these options. I think that definitely this person's only going to have access to sort of a limited run. I don't think studio is as useful as Haven.
Yeah. This is where big magic and stuff will come in even more. Because it's like, you have everything you need in your artist studio to perform big magic. Unless there's something really specific the keeper wants. Like, you need the eye of the monster, whatever. Everything else, you got in this place.
So, like, I've got Ritual Space. Another one, I like that we're playing with the idea of the potential for fame. So I've got, like, Popular Hang or Salon, right? There will be other people here. They will usually be helpful. They will also usually not be in the know. And so you kind of have to play that game even when you're off stage. Yeah. Because we want to open it up to as many other things as possible, I think one of the options should be theatrical. This is a place where, you know, there are costumes and things, like it is backstage somewhere. I think
that's
interesting.
Fun. Yeah, so you can get, like, security guard clothes to go into a place. You can get all those things for your crew. Hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. So you can sort of use kind of a like a costume area, or green room could be the other thing we could call that. We could call it, you know.
And I could see, like, a costume area working for a bunch of different ones. You're a photographer, you have models come in. You're a painter, you still have models come in and wear these clothes that you have. Like, you can really do that with anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be actors.
And I think one of the options is security at the door. Is you don't just have the money for the studio, you have the money to, like, make it happen. And I think that maybe if you take Make It Big, you get security at the door for free.
That's fun. That's nice.
So Ritual Space, popular hang / salon, theatrical / backstage, security. This location is safe from outsiders. I'm looking at some of our other options. Lore library, mystic library. I don't think makes too much sense. Whoa.
Well,
too much sense.
It makes sense to me. I think that it could be. These are where they put all of their prophetic drawings, right? If they're looking for lore history, they'd flip through their paintings or their journals or whatever, and they'd say, "I've done this. I've seen this. I've written this."
What do we call that? Seers, you know, promontory or
gallery room.
Hall of Prophecy feels a little on the nose.
The Library of Delphi. Let me see. I'm gonna look up some prophecy stuff.
Sketchbook.
Yeah, I just don't know what you call a place.
Stores. I'm looking it up.
I love the idea of running this as like an avant-garde filmmaker who can't see the bigger picture until they can watch their own movie all the way through beginning to end. Right? They're like doing all this editing in a fugue state. Did we find any good?
I was thinking like errata. These are the things that they've done before. No, that's like stuff that's thrown out. It's issues, things that are like an issue. So they put all these things out because they're like, oh, it's not right. It's not perfect. It's just not the right mystery yet. So you can go back and you can look at your errata and go, oh, I get it now.
Okay, I like that. I like errata. And that's, so the Haven has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 options. And we are at 5. So if we can get like, do we have one more idea kicking around? We've got Ritual Space, Salon, Backstage, Security, and Errata.
I was thinking some for like the opposite of like making it big. It's like keep it close. Like this is
secret? Or camouflage? Like a
safe space or
like a one-room apartment.
Yeah, so it's more of a haven. It's a artist's retreat, right? Nobody knows about this place. It's small, it's compact, but it is secure because nobody knows it. So artist retreat.
Retreat, hole in the wall. I like it. Okay. I feel pretty good about that. With that, we have the name of our class. We have where they fit. They fit over in the sort of like expert section. We have their abilities. We have the way they work with luck. We have the different things you can take. We have this sort of methods and the way they change the characters. We've started to think about, not too much on the page yet. We've got some level up options. We've got gear. We've got appearance. And now we have the studio space outlined. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. That's not bad.
That's solid.
The only thing that we're going to have to come up with off air, probably, we only have 7 minutes left. It sounds to me then like compulsive, euphoric, subconscious, and obsessive need to have 2 worse options after them, right? You go from, or maybe it's, if we want to go full Pathfinder, it's compulsive 1, compulsive 2, compulsive 3. But if we could think of something better, we can spend some time on thesaurus.com. We won't burden our lovely viewers with us being like, it says interested, drawn. Yeah, it's not. We can hold off on that somewhat. So, with 7 minutes on the clock, do you have anything else that we want to pencil in here? We could call it. We could do a quick little celebrity casting in D&D, or he said, you said, I say. New D&D player handbooks coming out here in a minute. That's
real
pretty exciting.
Quick. Yeah.
They did something that I find so bafflingly annoying that I can't comprehend why they did it. They spread the 3 books across 7 months.
What I found was, this is the excuse I read. It is a publishing issue. The places they use to source these things can't maintain that much product all at once, so they need to stagger it. Because my first thought was, what are they talking about? Why would they ever do that? And I was like, I guess.
If they hadn't released like 7 things recently that were shitty box sets of 3 books, I'd be a little bit more inclined to agree. And I say shitty with the knowledge that these were all widely criticized by the community for being thin. So I'm not gonna back down off of that necessarily. So they do have the ability to make 3 books pretty much at once. They're just like, no, it's different.
We're not gonna.
I love that.
Here's what I'm thinking we should let rip. We should come up with some history, and we can end it there. We have 6 minutes, 5 minutes to do it. Come up with some history options.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And then that's basically everything.
Definitely. Okay. So history options for these other cool cats.
So history, for those who aren't looking at a sheet like we are, is your connection with the rest of the group. You go around the group and you pick one of this list for each of the other hunters. So it has to be related in some way. So one of them would be like muse. Your character is my character's muse. When you're around, I feel like my art flows more readily, whatever. That's an easy one for an artist.
Yeah, I think Muse, second one, I saw you in a vision. I painted you before we ever met. Fated meeting.
Tell them what the vision said. That's cool. Yeah, I've seen you before. You're my muse.
One that I don't think would be well reviewed, but that I would think would be very funny, is if the last one is, if the other person at the table is the chosen, the only option you can take is this one. They keep appearing in your paintings no matter what you do to not include them.
I think that's hilarious.
I don't think it would be well reviewed. I think people would be like, that's kind of cagey. And I'd be like, it's the funniest thing in the world. It's like
hilarious.
No matter what, Todd, because specifically some chosens are these like brilliant, there's this like, I have a sword that my grandfather, and then I remember specifically Spencer playing a chosen that had a NASCAR tire hooked up to a junkyard chain that he would swing over his head like a meteor hammer. Can you imagine being the painter who's trying to make these like beautiful alien landscapes, and there's this NASCAR dude in a van in every painting? Brilliant.
I would do that. I think that's hilarious. The chosen goes up in all of your art, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Or we could, if we wanted to make it easier, it could be the chosen was showing up in all of your art until you located them. How did you find them?
And then we have the one that like everybody has relative. You are related to one of the other party members.
Sure.
Yeah, that's easy.
There's critic.
Your character hates my character's shit. God, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, critic, I think we can put a special one towards the bottom that's like, if you can get the other player in on it and they're excited, critic or fan.
Yeah.
The other person is your biggest fan. Like, I think there is definitely an element of real comedy to that. Much in the way with Critic, Michael, I think is deeply funny having somebody be like, they wrote a hit piece on whatever your last big exhibit was. Another one is that I like is they watched you lose your grip. They were there in the aftermath of your what do we have? I think we have it called witnessing or first contact. They saw the fallout on your life of the first contact. This is somebody I knew you before kind of deal. Yeah, I like that. Shadow of your past self. This person knew you when you were a normal painter or whatever.
I like that. How many is that?
6.
So
like maybe one more, maybe 2. And we have 2 minutes.
There could be this person saw you use big magic. What did you do? And why did you do it?
Love that. Magic witness. That's great. Oh, and then one that we have fan / critic as an extension of it. We could just have knows you through your work. Spencer clearly wants to spice that up. I can let me put that into the old Spencer translator. That's not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, the fan critic, I feel, already slots in with that one pretty well. That's my only problem. I was like, it's already kind of there. Somebody who knows you through that.
Is it that one of their works had some supernatural effect? They saw something you create cause a problem? Right, because I get the sense that these people are writing, the Necronomicon. These are the people that write the things that come up in the story that everything goes shitwise.
Yeah, I mean, there's the initiate initiated. Your supernatural artwork brought this person into the world of the supernatural. I could definitely see that.
I was gonna say protege.
Protege, yeah.
Or teacher.
Oh, protege is great. Protege teacher is great.
And it works really well for the other spellcasting classes. Spellslinger or whatever, they're learning some of the artistic methods of utilizing magic.
Yeah. Or you're trying to learn from a spellslinger.
You've got some
magic.
Weirdo magic. And you're like, this wizard's council can probably help me out. So you would want to mentor like some 50-year-old wizard. You're like, please.
Yeah, so we've got...
What am I doing over there?
We've got I Knew You Before. We got Critic Fan. We've got Relative. We've got You Appeared in My Art. We have Fated Meeting, similar to You Appeared in My Art. We've got Muse. We've got Witness to Magic. We have Protege Teacher. And then I can't think of a good way to put it, so I'm going to put Destructive Art for now. This is a piece you made ruined their life to some capacity, or they saw the aftermath of it. I think is a good one for people who want to play the edgelord. We gotta give them a way to do it. I make my tortured paintings cause shadows into the world. Like some stuff like that's pretty good.
And don't forget The Chosen.
Oh yes, The Chosen.
The parentheses close parentheses chosen.
Yes, if we the photo bomb. I love that. All right, with that, it is 8:01. That's pretty clean. That's this just about laid out. All we have to do is attach a couple of, get some of the finicky numbers down, seeing what abilities we want to tie it to. I think outside of that, we are pretty much good to go on this particular show.
Great. Well, with that, thank you everybody for tuning in to this week's episode of DM Writer's Room, where we demystify the keepering process this time. Typically, it's the DMing process, but for the next couple weeks, if you want to tune in, we will be doing this stream yet again, and that will be every Thursday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be demystifying the keepering process, building the next 2 playbooks. After that, we're going to go back into our typical D&D fare, most likely, maybe one-page RPG fare. Who's to say? Otherwise, Tuesdays, from 8 to 10 to 10:30 to 11, depending on how long this final episode takes, we are playing Summer Camp Slasher, a Monster of the Week mini-campaign kept by Ethan here and played by me, Michael, and a couple of other friends. We're 2 episodes deep, so catch the old episodes. They're short, sweet, to the point, and a whole lot of fun. It's the late 70s slasher version of Monster of the Week, so it's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's summer camp, so perfectly timed for the current hot weather. Other than that, you can catch our final stream of the week's section, and that is Game Masters, Masters of Games. We are playing Baldur's Gate 3, and we are the Big Boy Squad. We're saving Halcyon, we're ripping through the Forgotten Realms, slaughtering the bad guys, and going through it as quickly and as coolly as we can. We had some holdups last week. Check the stream, you'll find out what I mean. Otherwise, you can follow us on TikTok, where we post memes and informational videos on D&D and other tabletop games. You can subscribe and follow us on YouTube and Twitch, and that's it.